One of these men is the world's champion water skier. What is your name, please?
My name is Chuck Stearns.
My name is Chuck Stearns.
My name is Chuck Stearns.
Only one of these people is the real Chuck Stearns. The other two are imposters and will try to fool this panel. Tom Poston, Kitty Carlisle, Donna Beachy, and Polly Bergen on To Tell the Truth with your host, Bud Collier.
Thank you very much. Thank you, and welcome once again to Tell the Truth, brought to you this week by Anacin, the headache remedy with a special combination of ingredients to relieve pain, fight depression, and calm jittery nerves. Anacin. Panel, hi, and Polly, it's so nice to have you back with us.
It is indeed. It is so good to be back. I can't tell you. You know, I live all the time, went to California, got a cold. I don't understand that. It's very cold back there, you know.
Cold back there, but you don't catch cold back here.
Well, no, I dress for it back there.
Good. Well, it's nice to have you back. And will you open your affidavit envelopes, please, for the first time tonight, panel, and follow along with your affidavit cards as I read from mine. I, Chuck Stearns, operate a school for water skiers. It so happens I practice what I preach. Last summer in Minneapolis, I became the first man in history to place first in all three events, slalom, tricks, and jumping, to win the men's overall United States Championship. I added this achievement to my official world's water ski speed record of 59.2 miles per hour, which I set in 1956, and the World Championship, which I won in Milan, Italy in 1959. Signed, Chuck Stearns. And so we present for your consideration this first round of challenges tonight, panel. Three gentlemen, each claiming to be Chuck Stearns, water ski world champion. And we begin this first round of questioning with the one we just welcomed, Polly Bergen.
Thank you, Bud. Number one, if you're not a sort of a champion, if you're like a novice water skier, what is the position you start off in order to get up on the skis? Who did I ask?
I don't know. You didn't ask who. We're asking me, I thought.
Number one.
Well, I would think that, of course, your knees bent up and hold on to the rope and go.
Number two, what would the body position be, though? What would you call?
Well, because if you wanted a deep start or whether you were starting from a pier, how would you like to start?
Starting in shallow water.
Well, you'd be submerged up to your neck, and the front of your skis would be sticking out about a couple inches from the water. And you'd get a toe and you'd be on it.
Number three, should your arms be slightly bent or straight?
They should be straight.
Straight.
Yes.
Tom?
Oh, is it my turn? Thank you. Number three, there was a record run of some kind from Miami to Cuba, something like that once. Do you happen to know the story? Why did the skier stay up so long to make that record run?
I don't recall this story.
Do you know the record run, number one?
Well, that was Miami to Cuba. It was Miami to Nassau.
Miami to Nassau. How come he stayed up so long on the skis?
See if they could do it, I guess.
I heard the reason the record run was made was because there was a shark in back of them all over. Number two, how long is a run for a speed timing?
Well, it's usually measured by a timed mile. 1 mile runs straight through, and then you turn around and you come back another mile. It's a straight mile.
Thank you.
Kitty Carlisle.
Number one, where do you operate your school?
Marathon, Florida.
Number two?
Surf, California.
Number three?
Salton Sea, California.
Oh. Number one, there's a Mr. Pope in Florida who has a very famous water skiing place. What's it called?
Cypress Garden.
Number two, I'd like to follow along Polly's line of questioning. What is the most attractive position for a woman to be? Should you have your knees bent when you finally made it and you're up on the rope, or should you be absolutely erect?
No, you shouldn't stand absolutely erect.
How should
You
you
have to
stand?
bend your knees for balance to allow for the jarring of skiing on rough water or calm water.
Number three, you were in Milan. What is the name of the cathedral there? Number one, what's the name of the cathedral?
I do not know.
Don Amici.
Thank you. Thank you, Bud. Number three, what valley is the Salton Sea in?
Imperial Valley.
Number 1, how far is Marathon from Miami?
104 miles.
Number 2, how much do you charge an hour for teaching?
$15 an hour.
Number 3, how many hours a day do you teach?
3 hours a day.
How many?
3.
How many would you teach, number 1?
Well, as long as the customers had enough money to afford it, I'd...
Number 2, how many tricks did you have to perform in the championship?
Well, there's a number to perform. We performed about 4.
I beg your pardon?
About 4. 4 known tricks.
I guess that's it. In our first round tonight, the time is gone, and it is time for you now to vote, if you will, please. So, without consultation, panel, will you mark your ballots? Voting for number 1, number 2, or number 3. And of course, as usual, the team of challengers will get $250 for every incorrect vote. Everybody set? All right, Tom, for whom did you vote?
I voted for number 1, Bud. I liked all of his answers. I don't think he has the demeanor of a water ski champion, but maybe that's just his way.
Kitty, your vote.
I voted for number 1 halfway because of what Tom said. I liked his answers, but I disagree with what you say, Tom. It seems to me that most very good athletes have a very calm and wonderfully assuring exterior. You feel safe with them. And I'd feel very safe with number 1 if you were going to teach me how to water ski.
All right, Don Amici, how do you feel?
Step outside now.
I'm glad Kitty finished that sentence. She started that out there.
I voted for number 1 also, Bud. Well, I once again think they're all very well coached, but I thought that number 1's answers were the most consistent.
Polly, your vote.
Well, no, I didn't. I went along with everybody else. I voted for number 1, which is rare for me. I usually end up with the only one that's wrong. Well, number 1, his answers were quite good. He has the best tan, I think, and also he reminds me very much of the teacher who taught me this summer. But I had to wear a life jacket because I can't swim. And he looks like him. He does, really. Was it you?
All right, there we have the votes in, and our minds made up at least. Play along with us now and see whether you've guessed right or wrong as we reveal which one of these gentlemen is the real world's champion water skier. So will the real Chuck Stearns please stand up? You sure fooled him to start off this night's round, I'll tell you. He's got the lightest tan of the whole lot, too. That's pretty sneaky. Well, congratulations to you, sir.
Maybe he folds a lot.
He might be underwater more than enough. Number 1, would you tell us your real name and what you really do, please?
I'm Carl Duncan, and I'm a pilot for National Airlines.
Thank you, sir. And number 2, your real name and what you do, please.
My name is Ken Albrecht. I'm from New York. I appear in TV commercials.
Well, I knew I felt safe with him. At least I felt safe.
Yes, you certainly did. And for good reason. Now we have a score that should be pleasing to you 3 gentlemen as our challengers tonight. Since the panel goofed in every one, there are 4 incorrect votes, and therefore $250 each. That's a grand total of $1,000 from Anderson, as well as a gift package of fine products from the makers of Anderson. Thank you for being with us. Good skiing to you. Good night and good luck. Now here's a word about the relief of headache pain.
From doctors' offices across the country come survey replies of what doctors recommend for headache, neuritis, neuralgia pain. 3 out of 4 doctors recommend the ingredients in Anderson. Doctors know with most headaches, pain mounts up. You feel dull, depressed. Tension puts nerves on edge. Now, aspirin has just 1 pain reliever. Add buffering, you still get just 1. Only Anderson of the 4 leading headache remedies has special ingredients to relieve pain fast, help overcome depression fast, relax tension fast.
I feel great. Headache's gone and my stomach isn't upset.
And no wonder. Anderson is like a doctor's prescription. That is, a combination of ingredients, a particular combination that brings fast relief without upsetting your stomach. Remember, aspirin, even with buffering, has only one pain reliever. Take Anacin with ingredients 3 out of 4 doctors recommend. Anacin for fast, incredibly fast relief.
Panel, let's bring on our next team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Rachel Moffett.
My name is Rachel Moffett.
My name is Rachel Moffett.
Again, follow along, panel, if you will, with your copies of this affidavit. I, Rachel Moffett, until very recently, worked for the State Department at the United States Embassy in Havana, Cuba. 2 weeks ago today, Fidel Castro announced that all but 11 U.S. Embassy employees must be out of Cuba in 48 hours. I packed, reported to the embassy, and for 2 days worked around the clock winding up affairs. On January 4th, along with 68 other State Department people, I boarded an automobile ferry with stateroom accommodations for only 12. The next morning, we were put safely ashore in Florida. Signed, Rachel Moffett. Farewell, panel. You heard these ladies, each one claiming to be Rachel Moffett, just returned from the U.S. Embassy in Cuba. And let's begin this round of questioning with Kitty Carlisle. Kitty?
Thank you, Bud. Number 1, what is your job at the embassy?
I was a secretary.
Number 2, what was your job at the embassy?
I was a secretary.
Number 3, where'd they put all those people on that ferry boat?
We were crowded into staterooms, about 6 to a room.
Oh, my goodness.
There were accommodations for 12.
Number 1, who's the Cuban envoy to the UN?
Roa.
Number 2, was there a chargé d'affaires at the embassy?
Yes.
Who was that?
Oh, I've forgotten his name.
Number 3, who was the chargé d'affaires?
His name was Mr. Braddock.
Number 3, in whose care was the... By the way, no, let me ask this. When you leave an embassy in a hurry like that, do you burn the files or do you take them with you?
Who are you asking, please?
You, number 1.
Oh, you burned them.
You burned them.
Some were sent to Washington, but some we burned.
Did you take them, any files with you, number 2?
No, we burned them.
You burned them.
Don.
Thank you, Bud. Number 1, what club is across the street from the Nacional Hotel?
What club?
Yes. Gambling club. Floor
I don't
show.
think there is one across
I beg your pardon?
the street. I don't think there is one across the street.
Would you know number 3?
I'm sorry, I wouldn't know.
Number 2, do you know where Hemingway's ranch is?
No, I don't.
Did you know number 1?
No.
Number 3?
No.
Number 1, what are the initials of former Ambassador Smith?
I don't know.
Number 2, would you know?
I believe they're EKG. They're rather long.
Number 3, do you know the former ambassador's wife's name?
No.
Number 1? Number 2?
Florence, I believe.
Polly.
Number 1, where exactly did you land in Florida?
West Palm Beach.
West Palm Beach. Number 2, did you go out on the first ferry to evacuate from Cuba?
We left at 7 o'clock. I don't know whether it was
You don't know whether it was the first one. Number 3, do you know whether it was the first one or not?
I don't believe there was another one at that time.
Well, because I read several articles in the paper that they let many of the Cuban people themselves go out on the first boat, and I wondered if, number 1, do you know anything about that?
As far as I know, we had the first boat.
I see.
As far as I know.
I see. Number 2, was there any problem, any difficulty whatsoever in your being allowed to get on the ferry and leave, and was it all quiet?
No problem whatsoever.
No problem
We just got
whatsoever.
out quickly.
I see.
Tom?
Thank you. Number 2, do you happen to know what La Bodeguita del Media is?
No, I was only there about 2 months, and I don't
Oh, would you know number 3?
No.
Number 1, La Bodeguita del Media. Do you happen to know what that is?
No, I don't.
Do you know what Matuslan is, number 1?
No.
Can you tell me, number 2, where the oldest church in Havana is located?
No, I don't know.
Number 3, what's the name of the highway that goes along the waterfront in Havana? Do you happen to remember?
The Malecon.
Number 1, what is the current Cuban catchword?
Catchword.
Yes,
Oh,
the saying.
it's Cuba C, Yankee no.
CC. Gracias.
All right, CC, no more questions. It is time now for you to mark your ballots, if you will, please, without consultation, as always.
it's tough.
Just vote for number 1, number 2, or number 3. All ballots marked? Okay, Tom?
I had to vote for number 2, Bud, on the strength of the answers that she gave to Don's questions, and also because she finally said that she'd only been there a short while.
Kitty, your vote.
I voted for number 2. I think it's number 3 because she knew, I wasn't sure that was the right name of the chargé d'affaires, but she came up with somebody. But number 2 said Florence, and it was Florence Pritchett who was Mrs. Smith, and so I voted for number 2.
Don, what's your choice?
I voted for number 2, Bud, primarily because she knew the initials of Smith and also his wife's name.
And Polly, which one do you think is the real one?
Well, it's good to be home anyway. I voted for number 3. I had a very strong hunch all along that it was number 2, especially at the beginning. Then she missed several questions that number 3 answered and number 1 answered. And so then I sort of shifted between the two of them, and then toward the end, number 2 came in with a flash finish.
That's right.
But I didn't want to start off by getting everyone right because the other panelists get angry at me.
All right, Polly. Okay, there we have it. Round robin, or whatever you may call it. Our reasons and our votes, and let's see how they compare with yours as we discover which one of these 3 ladies is the real former member of the United States Embassy in Cuba. So will the real Rachel Moffett please stand up? This is not the panel's night, I'll tell you. You're doing mighty well. 2 in a row, even when they split their nose. All right, let's find out about the other 2 now. Number 2, would you tell us your real name? You garnered the most of the votes. What is your real name and what do you really do?
My name is Dorothea Tolles. I'm a fashion model and fashion coordinator, modeling in America and also in Paris for the top fashion designers.
Thank you. And number 3, your real name and your occupation.
My name is Muriel Henricus. I'm a housewife, 2 children. I live in Brooklyn.
And you got something to talk about. You fooled a panel of real shrewd, sharp people, and again, at 4 incorrect votes, $250 each, the total again, $1,000 from Anderson, and a gift package of fine products from the makers of Anderson. Hope you had fun being with us. We enjoyed having you here. Good night and good luck to you. Now a word of interest about a new nasal spray.
For sinus congestion and head cold's distress, get Dristan Nasal Mist, first to show proof of relief with this nasograph. Look, almost no air coming through this victim's nostrils. Now, Dristan Mist sprayed into one nostril. In seconds, it penetrates deep into swollen nasal and sinus passages, promotes sinus drainage, relieves pressure, controls post-nasal drip. Now, the nostril sprayed with Dristan Mist shows free breathing restored. Get Dristan Nasal Mist.
Now a word about InfraRub.
New relief for chronic minor pains of arthritis, rheumatism. Today, a new European discovery brings hours of relief with a special kind of warmth. It's InfraRub with working warmth. InfraRub's working warmth radiates relief, but never burns like old-fashioned rubs or liniments.
It's a wonder how quickly InfraRub's working warmth brings me hours of blessed relief.
Proven in arthritis clinics, InfraRub's working warmth radiates relief.
Now, panel, let's meet our 3rd team of challengers.
What is your name, please?
My name is Alan D. Cruikshank.
My name is Alan D. Cruikshank.
My name is Alan D. Cruikshank.
Follow along once again, panel, please, with your copies. I, Alan D. Cruikshank, am editor of Bird Counts for the National Audubon Society. We have just completed our 61st annual Christmas bird census. From December 21st to January 2nd, over 10,000 bird watchers took to the field to report sightings of more than 500 different species in the United States and Canada. Of all the bird watching teams competing, the group which I led broke all existing records by identifying 200 species of birds in one 24-hour period. Among these species were familiar ones such as the robin, the catbird, and the crow, and many less familiar birds such as the warbled godwit, the ruddy turnstone, and the yellow-bellied sapsucker. Signed, Alan D. Cruikshank. Three stalwart men this time, each claiming to be Alan D. Cruikshank, editor of the Bird Count. And we'll start this round with Tom Poston. Tom?
Thank you. You know, Bud, I do bird calls.
Do you?
Yes, I do. Would you give me the name of a bird and I'll show you?
Yes, the yellow-bellied sapsucker.
Okay. Hey, yellow-bellied sapsucker, come here.
All right, I was the sapsucker that time. I walked into that one.
Number 3, the one's not smiling. Number 3, we do jokes here, you know. Would you name, he takes this very seriously, would you name 3 birds of prey for us, please?
3 birds that pray for us.
3 birds that pray for us.
They do pretty good jokes over there.
3 birds that pray for us. I can give you one, the cardinal.
The praying mantis.
Bravo. You're not going to answer, huh?
You want the answer to
3
it?
birds of prey.
Well, I would say a hawk, a falcon, and a wild turkey.
A wild turkey? What is a peregrine falcon, number 3?
A peregrine falcon? It's a species of bird in its own category, and it's related to one species only, and that is the peregrine falcon.
Okay.
Kitty?
Oh, there you go.
Number 1, what is a ptarmigan?
A ptarmigan is a bird found in northern waters.
Can you spell it for me?
P-T-A-R-M-I-G-A-N.
Number 2, where do you find plover's eggs? And don't say under a plover. I mean, where do you find plovers?
Generally on the ground.
Where do you find
Donamici.
plovers, number 3?
Sorry, Kitty. The bell
Number
is out,
3,
and
what
I have to call
nationality
you
is
by name.
Cruikshank?
What nationality is Cruikshank?
Scotch.
Number 1, do you know of a famous golfer by the name of Cruikshank?
I've heard of one.
You don't? Would you know who he is, number 2?
There was a Bobby Cruikshank that was a golfer.
Number 3, what is the fastest bird known?
I'd say a tern.
Would you agree with that, number 1?
For short distance, I say a hummingbird.
Number 2, can you explain to me why the swallows come back each year to a place like Capistrano? Why does this happen regularly on a specific day each year?
That's not true to begin with. They come back approximately the same time, and a bird generally returns to the place where it was hatched.
Number 1, are ducks considered birds?
Yes, they are.
Would you name me, is there such a thing as a wood duck, number 1?
I'm sorry, there's no bell connected. It's broken, and I'll have to call a halt on you now, so please forgive me. That's
Yes.
all the time we have for questioning. And didn't you question anything at all, Polly? Sorry, we started with Tom. Polly. Polly, I got the wrong signal from over there, so...
Well, I didn't tell the
Forgive
joke.
me. There isn't much time. I better ask a few.
Number 1, number 2, you said that they usually go back to where they're hatched. Well, wouldn't that mean that their parents all return to the same place?
That's right.
But you said that that wasn't necessarily true.
No, about
We
the
said
day.
it wasn't true that
About
they
the
came
day.
back on that specific date.
Oh, on the specific date. I see. I'm sorry I brought it up.
It's an Atlantic day.
Number one, there is a bird who also talks very well besides a parakeet. It's a blackbird, I think. Most of it's black. What is its name?
It's a bird usually in captivity and called a minor bird.
No.
That's it. Hey, we got the bell back. Good enough. That lets me know now that the time is up and it's time for you to mark your ballots. Will you do so now, please, without consultation, voting for number 1, number 2, or number 3? Okay, Tom, for whom did you vote this time?
I voted for number 2.
Number 2?
What's funny about that?
Kitty, your vote, please.
I voted for number 1. I think number 3 gave marvelous answers. But number 1 corrected number 3 when he talked about the fastest bird. He said it was a tern, and number 1 said for the short distance it was a hummingbird, and I don't think he'd have corrected him if number 3 had been the real one. And I thought it was number 3, but maybe it's number 2. I'm terribly sorry.
Kitty, would you mind running through just those reasons again? Donamici, your ballot, please.
I voted for number 2, Bud, and I wish I knew why.
You probably
enlightened me a great deal. What I know about bird watchers and birds, boy.
Polly.
I have a very good reason.
Yes?
And I thought I was the only one who would vote for him. I voted for number 2. Number 3 and number 1's answers were, I think, the best. But we didn't ask number 2 very much. And number 2's hands are very sunburned. And I figure if you hold binoculars to look for birds.
You see, Kitty, you didn't have to apologize to Polly. She has her own reasons anyway.
No, but even if it isn't, it's a good reason.
Yes, it is. And I hope you have as good reasons at home as we teach you and show you right now which one of these gentlemen is the real birdwatcher extraordinary and editor of the Bird Count. So will the real Alan D. Crookshank please stand up? Good. You reversed your form and did better on this round. Let's find out about the others. Number one, would you tell us your real name and what you really do?
I'm a civil engineer with Tippett, Sabat, McCarthy, Stratton, and my name is George B. Sparrow.
All right, birdwatcher number three, your real name and what you really do, please.
Well, I'm an artist and photographer. I do business in White Plains, New York as a Craig artist photographer studio. And my real name is Henry H. Nightingale.
Oh, come on. Put up job. Well, that's what I call flying through to victory. But the panel did better this time to the expense of you gentlemen. There was one incorrect vote at $250 for a total of just that amount, $250 from Anison. And, of course, a gift package of fine products from the makers of Anison. Happy bird watching to you, and thanks for sharing the fun with us tonight. Good night and good luck. And now something short and sweet from our all-in-it sponsor, Helene Curtis.
What kind of head scratcher are you? Wary? Eager? Thoughtful? Scratching won't solve your dandruff problem, but Endon will. Helene Curtis Endon Dandruff Treatment Shampoo. Endon really works. It's medically proved 99% effective. Used regularly, Endon is guaranteed to end your dandruff problems and prevent their return. While you shampoo, Endon's medications penetrate and remove dandruff. Leave invisible protection that lasts from shampoo to shampoo. Endon leaves your hair radiantly clean, soft, shiny, easy to manage.
I use Endon regularly as my only shampoo, and so does my whole family.
Helene Curtis Endon Dandruff Treatment Shampoo. Clear golden liquid, cream, or lotion. And for people with dry hair, new Special Endon, specially formulated for dry hair.
That's all we have time for, except to remind all of you and ourselves that tonight there's a very important opening to us and to all of you on Broadway, in which our Mr. Tom Poston becomes, we trust, a conquering hero. Tom, best of good luck in the new show.
Thank you.
It's a big smash hit, and you give us all house seats.
Right, the deal is on.
That's all the time we have, so good night, panel, and God bless you.
Good night, Bud.
Bud Collier saying good night from Anison and reminding you to tell the truth. Good night, everybody.
To Tell the Truth is a Mark Goodson, Bill Codman production. To Tell the Truth has been brought to you tonight by Dristan Nasal Mist, the new decongestant spray for relief from miseries of sinus congestion and head colds. Johnny Olson saying goodnight from To Tell the Truth. This program was pre-recorded.